I prefer vinyl just because I like the crackle that's out of a tube amp. I painted my first record cover this last year, you know, and I basically did it for free just because he's my friend, and I was so excited to do a record cover. This whole thing of being an artist is a strange thing. It never turns off, so everything I see, colors, light, mood, temperature, I'm an observer and I'm recording things. I think the beautiful thing about being an artist is that interest. Every single thing I look at, I want to understand how it works. I keep a lot of sketchbooks. This is a piranha sketch. I love fish. I would love to do a whole book of just fish. This is a crow. I used this in a Black Keys painting I did for Rolling Stone. This is really, really fun to paint and to draw. It's a little bit disturbing, but it's also something that interests me. I started off as a cartoonist, maybe 10 or so. I started drawing people obsessively, and I was exaggerating and having fun, and I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I invented it. Then my dad bought me a book called Caricature by this artist, Len Redman, and I was like, damn, this is like an art form. So my best model for my work is usually me. I try as much as I can to imagine emotion, and that's more like what I see in my mind, not necessarily that my face looks that way, but I understand what muscles do. When I'm looking at someone, I see their skull. First of all, the face has a relationship between every feature. There's a distance between your nose and your mouth. How thick is the bottom lip compared to the top lip? Are the eyes small? Are they big? What's the size of the ear in relationship to the nose? Some people, they have a teeny chin, but beyond that, it's skull structure. I can see where your nasal bone starts. I can see your orbits. I can see your zygomatic arch. But the most important thing is the eyes and the mouth. So I usually spend the most time on the eyes and the mouth because those are the voices of the people, I think. I was asked by Time magazine to do a cover for them. That was always a dream of mine, to do a cover for Time magazine. So they asked me to paint Edward Snowden. I was not that familiar with him. A lot of times I'll watch YouTube videos of people I have to draw or paint. If I don't have that, I'll ask for videos sometimes because I like to see how people move, how they talk, the feeling, the shape of their mouth when they talk. This was the main reference that they wanted me to base it off of. And basically they said, we'd just like you to come up with a whole new image. Right away I thought, make him look like the spy. So I used myself as a reference. My original sketch, I even had him in a hat like this, and he's got a collar up and he's kind of in shadow. I started off with the sketch and I saved it as a Photoshop file. Then I start blocking in under my line work. But I don't want to lose my lines. So the lines are still here for a guide. The line work is basically just a map to wherever you're traveling. And then the next phase would be me starting to paint on top of everything. I just painted my first cover for Time magazine. I was so excited. And then I get a call when I'm in Vegas saying, would you be interested in doing another cover for us? They wanted me to paint the Pope. They announced on the Today Show that the Pope was Person of the Year, and I found out that I just painted the Person of the Year cover. For me as an illustrator, and that to me is like winning an Academy Award. The sketch is not super complicated. I mean, it's pretty much just capturing basic proportion. The New Yorker piece is not a caricature, but I would say that there is some element of caricature in that, and that's because what I try to do is I try to enhance the character that I'm seeing. I think, wow, she's got a beautiful smile. How can I accentuate that? So even in portrait work, I'll just slightly adjust things and draw the lips and the mouth how I want to do it, because I think aesthetically it's going to look better. I'm purposely letting this yellow pop through because that's going to give it that oil painting feel. If you look closely, these trees are literally just some really rough marks. I mean, it's not that tight. It's kind of like a plein air painting back here. Very, very, I mean, you can count these brush strokes basically. But then when we zoom back out, the trees become real trees. I will never let go of the traditional mediums, ever. The fact that I do both traditional and digital is why my work has the look that it does. I can go into my Photoshop and I adjust my brushes, and I actually set some of my settings in Photoshop where it's not easier. I'll have my opacity on 100%, my flow on 100%, and it's all about how I hold my hand.
I've been accused.
It's a very lonely job, being in a studio all day drawing and painting. Sometimes I just got to get out. So I'll take my work to a cafe. I like the sounds. I like to be around other people. I can hear them, and I like the smells, the coffee smells. But mostly it's people. I'm obsessed with drawing people. I love it. Expression, characters, hairstyles, clothing, the way people walk, the way they sit. How do you capture the truth in someone's face? It has to do with their character, the feeling, their essence. There's been times where I have gotten headaches because someone's face is so intriguing or complicated that it's like blowing my mind, because there's so many different ways you could go with this. That person is real. You can't believe it. I mean, and if you, I don't know, you focus so much, it feels like you're gonna pop. That animal is so amazing. I mean, if you look at the shapes of that animal, it's hard to believe that that thing really exists. When you do a painting, it's an illusion. Being able to create that illusion, that's the thing I think that keeps a lot of us artists going. If I had everything figured out, I couldn't do this anymore. I enjoy the struggle of being an artist. The struggle is not fun, and it can be very, very depressing sometimes, but it is a very important part of doing what it is that I do.